Say a short hello. We're about to start. Okay, well, let me welcome everybody. Say hello. I'm so glad you're here. I want to say happy holidays to everybody. And just want to give you a few tips before we start out. I want to welcome our newbies, especially too. Please, if you're new, please tell us. I mean, if you have something to say, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have some questions or something that's happening that we would all benefit from, we would love to hear from you, because this call helps everyone that is on it, and we really learn, and there's different ways to go about different things to do. So please join in with us. And to do that, there's a reaction button on the bottom of your screen, and on it you'll see raise your hand. If you don't mind raising your hand and leaving it up until really after you're done speaking, that would be terrific. But raising your hand puts you on the screen so I can see you and I can call on you. And then while you're talking, if you would please limit your shares to maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I know sometimes it has to go over. I do understand that. But then we have so many people that want to share. We would appreciate you doing that. And if you could please.
I just muted everyone. So they'll have to unmute themselves when including you. You're muted now.
But thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. And just so you know, the first 15 minutes, we like to limit it to X39 stories and questions. Well, you don't know about the questions, but that is our granddaddy of all the patches, as I like to say, because it will help a multitude of symptoms that goes on in us. And while you're talking, please stay compliant. And what that means is, if you can avoid saying anything about a disease or anything medical, that would be wonderful. Just do a lot of explaining of your situation, condition. We usually can figure it out, and then we'll, be able to chime in, ask questions or something, but don't mention the diseases. So, but let us know how long you've been wearing the patch, what were your symptoms before, how you're feeling now, and then telling us that really helps everyone. So just know that we do not claim to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any condition. So let's begin, and I do not see any hands up yet. So I will start with two that I know of, and it has to do with wound healing. My brother's wife had a deep growth that was dug up, and it was pretty bad. And in 6 days, my brother was putting X39 around the area. 6 days later, it was almost closed. So that was really remarkable. And then there was another, one of my brand partners had a patient, and they were talking about amputating his foot. He had a sore on it that they couldn't do anything with it. And finally, he listened to what she was saying about the patch and put the X39 patch on it, and it's almost gone. So please, no, our X39 patch, it does so many things, but one of the better, no, they're all good, but on wound healing, it is just like phenomenal. And if you ever get anything like that, please put an X39 on it and you'll have really good results. So anyways, Michelle, I see your hand up. Please come on in, unmute, and please let us know what you're going to tell us today. We can't wait.
Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, so on the theme of wound healing, I have a couple really quick ones. So probably a couple of years ago, I had been using the X39 for a couple of years, and I cut my, some of you have heard this story already, but it's pretty phenomenal. I cut my middle finger. I pushed down the trash, when you're trying to get more into a trash can, I pushed down and withdrew my hand quickly, just with a scream. And my middle finger was bloody, just bleeding profusely. Wow. And my boyfriend felt so bad because he said, "Oh no, honey, there was that ceramic dish that he had put in there, and there was like just fluffy stuff on top of it. So I didn't see it." So I literally, I didn't know till later, but I cut like the tip of my finger off, like the very tip of the skin, just the skin, not the nail, but it was deep. And I said, we have to go to the ER, no, the urgent care. I knew intuitively this was serious. So it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I wrapped it with like 2 or 3 layers of paper towel because it was just profuse bleeding. And you know how sensitive the tips of your fingers are. It was like a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was a 10. So I had enough presence of mind to grab another X39. I had one on the back of my neck, but I grabbed another one and put it on the outside of the paper towel, which again, as you all know, 3 inches from the body, it's still working. And I went from hysteria, literally hysteria, to I was calm. The pain wasn't gone by a long shot, but it probably dropped from a 10 to like a 6. And I just looked at my boyfriend. I said, oh my gosh, I feel, I mean, it still hurts like heck, but I can think clearly. I'm not hysterical. And then the wound healing, when I got to the urgent care, the doctor said, we can't sew that. There's, you know, you literally,
Right.
cut off a piece of your finger. So she just kind of stuffed it with something. I don't remember what. And I took one pain medicine in the ER because she was, doing her thing and it hurt pretty bad. But that was it. She prescribed a heavy duty pain medicine and all I used was X39 and Ice Wave for the pain. But she said it would take probably, I think she said like 6 weeks or something for it to completely heal, like 4 to 6 weeks for complete healing.
Wow. I mean, just
Someone
Michi-
muted me. Anyway,
I accidentally muted her. Sorry.
in less than 3 weeks, it was almost completely healed. Yeah.
Right. Wow. That was
Yeah.
just a marvelous story, Michelle. I mean,
Yes.
yes, the tip of your finger, it really hurts. So
It
wow.
hurts. Probably the tongue is the only other thing that's more sensitive, but yeah, but it's completely, I mean, I can't be on camera right now, but it is absolutely, you would never know, it is completely filled in. Yep.
Well,
So thank you. Thank you.
thank you
X39.
for our X39s in our toolbox. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Okay,
you, Jerry.
John, please come in.
Yeah, hi, Jerry. Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted to tell a story that to me, it's been subtle, but it's something that this journey of X39 and LifeWave, I'm 1 year on it, 74 years old, and my mental clarity is what's really come to the surface about what this has done from healing within. I'm really into my thing is lifestyle medicine versus our traditional healthcare, and LifeWave is so aligned with that type of thinking and where we need a paradigm shift. So enough of that. And what the story that I have this weekend with mental clarity is just something that I've got an organic popcorn business that takes a lot of my time. And I've learned some phrases like compound annual gross revenue is a term I've learned. Well, with LifeWave, the X39, for instance, I've come up with the phrase compound annual mental revenue because it just keeps compounding. And at my church this weekend, there was the dean. He came to visit us, and he was actually I wouldn't say he was a mentor, but maybe he worked very closely with Martin Luther King. He's a global figure, and he was talking about how we can make this world a better place in so many ways. And I tracked him down afterwards after listening to what he had to say and knowing what he was about. And I tracked him down and he was talking about diet and not very much. He didn't, because it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. And so what I did was I tracked him down and I came up with this. I don't know where I came out of this. I'll blame it on the X39, but I just had the boldness to ask him as he was leaving. I asked him, what would Jesus eat? What would Jesus eat? And he went on for about another 5 or 10 minutes about that, and with a big smile on his face. And it's all about lifestyle medicine, and it's all about the X39, where that fits into our diet and where it's taken me. So that's my story.
Thank you so much. I mean, amazing patch that we have. Thank you for sharing, John. Ravel, please unmute and tune us into what you have today.
Thanks for hosting, Jerry. It's wonderful to be here as usual. Just a brief testimonial of somebody who was in his 80s in a small town of 2,500, which is the next town from where I am now. He shared that in the second or third day after using X39, he felt a sense of calmness and well-being. and happiness that he said he hasn't felt in a very long time. And I see Sunshower has her hand up, but I'll just share really briefly
Okay.
what I experienced after the first 9 to 12 months I was using X39 alone. And I had to wear special material in the summer in case I got bitten by a mosquito or an insect or bug of any kind, because I would have a flare reaction and a rash would ensue. It was quite embarrassing wearing this special material. Usually it's a picture of me and my dog, and you can see that special material. It's a mesh jacket and mesh pants. And I did get a reaction about a month or two after using X39. It lasted for about 6 days. I continued to drink water. And at the end of that time period, it's interesting because it came back a month later, but only for a day. And that was in 2020. And that challenge hasn't come back at all. So I'm
Wow.
extremely grateful to X39 and David Schmidt and LifeWave.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for sharing. And you bring up an interesting thing. And please, everyone, realize we need to hydrate. Drink the water. Drink your water. It makes them work better. So good morning, Sunshower. Welcome. What are you
Good
going to tell us
morning,
today?
Jerry, thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Ravel. Ravel and I were partners on a recent community updates call, and we did a little talk on leadership. I think it's recorded. You ought to check it out on the Live Younger YouTube. Anyway, X39. Wow, there's so many stories that we all have. I've been wearing X39 for like 3 years now. And most of you know, because a lot of you are old timers here at the Miracle Call that know that after the second year of wearing X39, suddenly I could smell. Well, that had not been the case for my whole entire 72 years, 74 now, just like John. We're about a few weeks apart. And not only, can I smell now, I feel like my weight really dropped. And, I kind of needed it. I was getting a little bit pudgy, and I feel stronger. When, especially if I wear, oops, is it 9:15 now? Oh, I can't say the other one yet.
We're almost there.
Anyway, my strength and stamina truly is better. I do feel a whole bunch younger. I got a lot of energy, and I've used X39 for things like if I got a swollen gland, just put it right there, and 20 minutes later, that was gone. That pain was horrible. I couldn't chew. It hurt to, open my mouth and stuff. And 20 minutes? Are you kidding me? This is almost miraculous, except it's science. So I'm going to be quiet now. Oh, I don't see any other hands. Where's our people?
I know. Where are
Hi,
they?
everybody.
Well, I have a couple. We started with wound healing. Oh, wait a minute. Juanita, thank you so much for coming in. Please let us know what you're going to tell us.
Okay, so I'm not sharing my story. I'm sharing a story from a friend, which really made my day today.
Great.
So she has been on the X39 and Ice Wave since July. She got discouraged because she wasn't having the relief from the pain. The pain went down a tad, but she wasn't having the relief that she thought she would have. She had changed her diet and all that good stuff. And I kept encouraging her. So you gotta be consistent. Just keep on doing it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And this morning I got up, and after getting off a prayer call, which was very depressing because I just heard stories of people going to the hospital for cancer, stage 3, stage 4, people dying. It was really depressing. So as I sat there trying to, clear my mind, her text came in and she said, "Good morning, Juanita. I am praising God today because I got up this morning pain-free."
Oh, wow.
I
is
was
marvelous.
I was so excited. I texted her back and said, "Girl, God is good. You made my day." So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And please, everyone, know consistency and persistency. We need to do that. And it's all about, it might not be quite even as fast as Juanita's friend did, but it takes some time sometimes. So please be persistent. So Good morning, Dr. Donna, come on in.
Well, I see that's 15 after. Would you like for me to, it has to do with an X39. Would you like me to do that?
X39 is fine. You can do anything now.
So
Anything.
I started using X39 on June the 4th, 2019. I can tell you exactly the date. And my husband and I we've been together for over 35 years, and we had physically grown apart, not because we didn't want to, but it was a desire. You said not a disease, but it was a desire. And after about 3 months of using the X39, I'm going to make this short, I woke up in the morning and said, "Where are the batteries?"
Congratulations. We like that because we know that really has affected the libido. So
It does.
congratulations. Okay.
You can fill in the blanks any way you want to.
Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate that. Okay, Barb, you're up next. Please unmute.
NutriBarb here from Collingwood, Ontario. I was at my girlfriend's Christmas, there was 3 of us for dinner last night, and she mentioned she's been on the X39. I patched her for a week and then she couldn't be without it, as we all know. And her 16-year-old dog, little Buffy, tiny little Maltese, she always had to have piddle pads on the floor at night because she couldn't make it through the night. And she said to me last night, she hasn't had one mistake since she started patching Buffy after she'd worn the X39 for the day, because that's what I was doing with my dog Rosie to heal her from the gas poisoning. And she just puts it right on her fur, and she hasn't made one mistake since she started that.
Wow, I am so glad to hear that. And I am a proponent of these on animals. My
Yeah.
dog just had the nail taken out. She had some prior problems and they now had to take the nail out. And I was
Wow.
using it on her and it healed rather quickly. So
Oh,
yes,
good.
our animals benefit. So thank you for sharing that, Barb. Perry. Okay, Chris, you're up next. Please unmute.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good
Happy
morning.
holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So I have a quick story about wound healing. My 4-year-old daughter scraped her face, falling and hitting the pavement.
Mm.
And my wife and I, were on the patches. And my wife placed her used X39 patch on her face for the next few days. And by 6 or 8 days later, the scrapes were barely there. There was like nothing.
Wow,
So
I know.
it was shocking to see how quick that
Yes.
those scrapes went away.
Thank you for sharing that because we're on a lot of wound healing and yes, please, any
Welcome.
kind of wound healing. I slammed my thumb in a drawer really hard and actually helped it with the other hand. And my nail was purple and everything, and it was really hurting. And I just grabbed one and put it right on the nail. And in about 30 seconds, the pain was gone. And I didn't take it off until the next day, and it was normal. So yes, please, wound healing, anything wrong like that. Our X39 is a gem. So thank you, Chris, for sharing. Kyra, you're up next. Please unmute.
This is Kira.
Girl, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I am, as many people know, an avid hiker, and I'm 75, and I usually hike with a group that are in there anywhere from 50s to even some that are 80. However, this past weekend, I hiked both on Thursday, almost a 6-mile hike, and then on Friday, a 5.2-mile hike here in Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas, in 2 different areas. And they were not easy hikes. I'd say they were moderate. And I had absolutely no difficulty because I had plenty of energy. And that's something that I always wear when I go hiking is the X39 as well as the Energy Enhancer patch. So, at my age, to hike that many miles 2 days in a row.
Wow.
I'm really grateful for the assistance that the patches give me.
Amazing. Yes, amazing energy. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Any more hands coming in there? Oh, okay, Michelle, please unmute.
So you're not coming over, okay.
Hi again, Jerry.
Hi.
So yeah, I didn't see any hands, so I threw mine up.
Thank you.
5 minutes left, but someone's speaking, so maybe Liz, you want to mute
Yeah.
again? And
On Rosemary from Dallas, if you could mute.
Okay. So I have an energy enhancer story about myself and my boyfriend. So my boyfriend works really long days, like 12-hour days, and it's a stressful job. And he uses energy enhancer when he works out. He does CrossFit, which is a very difficult workout, if those of you who are familiar with it. And he's 64 years old, by the way. Most of the people in the class, in fact, everyone is half his age. He's the oldest one in the class, and the energy enhancer is like, oh my gosh. But for work, I suggested it to him. I said, honey, wear it for work. And he called me after the first day. He said, it's weird. He goes, I really think it helped me in like another 12-hour day with very high stress. So, and of course he uses X39 every day without fail. So those two are a great combo. Thank you, LifeWave and David Schmidt.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We love them. Thanks. Okay, Gary, you're up next. Please unmute. You're still muted, Gary.
There.
There you
Good
are.
morning, everybody. So I love your commitment to wear the hat.
Thanks.
You're cute. Great style of hosting too. Very kind. And so anywho, I have an 81-year-old friend from Mexico, and she this summer was in the yard, tall weeds, and tripped and fell and hit her head on something and had literally the size of a chicken egg bump.
Oh,
so she came to me to buy a case of honey from a little town a few miles away. And when she got here, she showed me, and I said, oh my goodness, Hermana, that's terrible. I said, I've been telling you about these patches. Do you want to try a little experiment? So she said, sure, it sounds good. So I said, we can't diagnose, but I said, I would venture to say that that'll be gone by tomorrow morning. So I said, let's see. So we put it on. Her hair was matted and there was blood and it was broken, the skin.
Oh, wow.
And so I just stuck it on there. And I said, please let me know. So I got a hold of her 2 days later. And she said, she says, I can't believe it. She said, by the morning, the bump was gone and most of the pain was gone and it's healing. So anyhow, she's signing up. And so I was so happy to help her. And I was amazed again, still keep being amazed by how stem cells work and this technology.
I know. We're so happy when the quick results like that come too. So yeah, great. So
thank you.
Michelle, is your hand back up or no, Ravel, I see your hand up. Would you please unmute?
Sure, Jerry, thank you. It's lovely hearing these testimonials, and please get your hands up. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Just a quick experience by an individual in Croatia. He was on a methadone treatment for drug addiction. And he used the X39 and the SP6. And of course, all we can say about the patches is that they stimulate, where I am anyways, that they stimulate acupuncture points. But his experience was that it was a lot easier for him to deal with his addictions. And he felt a real sense of not just well-being, but his dealing with what he was getting off of. It was a very hard drug that he was addicted to, and he was using X39 and SP6. It was very helpful for him.
Thank you so much. And please, everyone, look into SP6. It's great for a multitude of things and has so many benefits for so many things. So if you have more questions about it, we can get to you about it. And since we don't have any more hands, I had I don't know.
I'll give a testimony.
I don't know.
I'll give a testimony.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yes, I had surgery back in September, and after I come out of surgery, I had pain. The pain just continued to get so severe that, it got up on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1,000, and I couldn't move a muscle or anything because it was so painful, and they had to, you know, lift me dead weight because I just couldn't move. It was so pain. And I did have, you know, the X39 in my purse, but they would not allow me to use it because they didn't want it to mix up with their other meds that they were using. I said it will not mix. And finally, after all the pain pills that they were giving me and everything that were not doing nothing but just making me sick, they finally, the doctor says, okay, use it. So at night, she put one on, and I told her to put it on right where it hurt the most, and that was on my low back. And she did. And during the middle of the night, that 1,000 came down to 500. And if I'd moved, and I moved my arm, and as soon as I moved my arm, of course, it went back up to 1,000. But when I quit moving, it went back down to 500. And then the morning when I woke up, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like 2 or 3.
Wow.
And then later on that day, there was no pain at all. And that was just on one X39.
Yes. And as she says, it does not interfere with medicine. Nothing is going into your body. Please try to make the people know that. It's using your infrared body heat to transfer the frequencies in to help heal. So please, yes, does not mess with medicine. So Kira, come on back in again. Thank you for sharing that.
I do have a second shorter testimonial that was something that occurred when I was first starting X39, first starting to use the patches, and the X39 in particular. I noticed after several months that my hair was changing. And traditionally, my hair would never get this long without being very stringy and thin. And I have normally this color hair when I was throughout my life. And my hair was very white at the temples. And what I discovered after several months of using X39, that my hair color was more uniformly the color that it is today. This is my natural hair color. I have never used any kind of coloring on my hair. So it's really fascinating to me to see the length and the color.
Oh, wow.
And I don't use any other product.
That's beautiful. You know, like David's talking about reverse aging, and it's putting you back to when you're 30, Kira. So that's wonderful.
I would agree. Reverse aging is something that I've very much experienced with the X39.
Thank you so much.
I know there's some other hands up, but
and then we have two hands. We have
Nice.
two hands up now, and we will take them. We're at 11:28, and that will probably finish our call today. So please, Eva Rose, please unmute and share with us today.
Good morning.
morning.
I had a client, it was a Friday, and she reached out with me because she was in so much pain, and she heard from another person that I could potentially help her. And so I am unfortunately all out of my X39, waiting for my order to arrive. So I know that I had the Ice Wave, so I thought I could give her some relief in some form. And so she came to me, and she had a hip surgery, and in the bursa area, she just has so much pain, and they said that they'll have to do another type of surgery. So I took out the Ice Wave and asked her to put the touch where she had the most pain. And so she touched right on the bursa hip area, and we put the tan patch on there, and then I just moved 3 inches over, started from one side, and then we counted 10 seconds, and then I asked her to press again where that pain is, and she's like pressing all around, and I said, well, press on the patch because that's where you said it was the most pain. And she said, well, I can't find the pain. And it was like, wow, because she is in so much pain for so long and that was 10 seconds. So waiting for the X39 to come in, but in the meantime, she's left with a package of Ice Wave to help her get through the holidays until that arrives. So
Yes,
it's just
and-
really fun to
Yeah,
share.
and the ice waves are major helpers, because when I fractured my pelvis in 2 places and was lying in my driveway and they were trying to move me and I was screaming, I says, wait a minute. And I put the ice waves on. I put 3 sets on it, but then I was fine. I never, ever took a pain drug from that time on. They never put anything in me. So yes, please, the ice waves are lifesavers when you have pain. So please. And we're, one other thing, because we were talking about tissue and organ repair, and I saw Janet in there had made a mention, and carnosine patches, if you don't know, are great for tissue repair, organ repair. So put those in your toolbox, because they are really, really beneficial for that. So, and we will end up with Jana. Please unmute and please share with us.
Okay. I had an experience, this happened a little while ago, but I had to have an extraction of a tooth, and it was a difficult extraction because it was a curved root, whatever. And he was digging around and taking x-rays and digging around more. And I had gone into the procedure with an X39 over the side that they were going to be extracting the tooth, and a glutathione also right next to it.
Okay.
And finally they were done, and it took a long time. And I went home and they said, well, we want you to come back in the morning to see how you're doing after all of that. And I came back in the morning and I looked great. The pain was gone, the inflammation, and everyone in the dental office just was staring at me in amazement, because they said, we never expected that you would be looking this good and be doing this well.
Right.
So,
thank you for sharing that. And that brings up a share that was made here by Casey. She had extensive teeth and bone, everything done to her mouth. And even before she went in, she wore the patches, and then they wanted to do it, and she had to go back the next day. And the dentist had warned her she'd be black and blue and everything like that. She went back in and they couldn't believe it. So just like Jana was saying, just, patch up even before you're going to have a procedure, because it's going to help you through it, and then you can continue with it. And okay, we will take one more, Christina, and then we're going to end. Okay, thank you, Christina. Right.
Hi. So I just wanted to share that recently I've been talking to people in other multi-level marketing companies that I'm friends with, and I patched one of them by sending her some patches in the mail. And, she was a little skeptical, but she was into frequency. She knew what that was. So she patched, and she's been unable to walk very far and having to be in a wheelchair. And also she had bursitis in shoulders and stuff, so she couldn't lift her arms. So she gets on Zoom with me to lift her arms over her head, and she goes, I haven't done this in forever. And so I was like, that's cool. And then I had another friend that's a frequency medicine doctor. And so I patched her. I've been trying to patch her for a year. And I patched her the other day, and the patch went from the back of her neck while she was sleeping to the bottom of her foot. And we were in public, and she said, I've had this condition that goes down below the bone on my heel, and it hurts all the time for 2 years, and I don't have that pain right now.
Yeah.
And that's just 2 stories that have happened recently. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. And I'll just end. I saw a question about dry mouth. Dry mouth is a symptom that you can get with the patches. I drink a lot of water. I do get dry mouth. Just tell them to keep drinking water. That's probably the best answer we can give you. So anyway, Robin and Gregory are in Hawaii having a good time. Liz, is there anything else you want to let us know that's going on that they have told you?
Well, I believe that they are going to be joining us this evening on our 9 o'clock East Coast time, 6 o'clock Pacific time, for the weekly update call from Hawaii. So live from Hawaii, please join us this evening if you can. And then tomorrow evening, we will have a similar call to this with our Testimonial Tuesday. So please join us and bring your friends and colleagues. So thanks.
and your testimony. So thank you so much for joining us today. Enjoy the holidays with your family and friends, and just make it joyful and loving. So thank you so much for joining in. You may unmute, say goodbye to everybody. Happy holidays. Have
Thanks,
a good week.
Jerry. Great
Thanks,
job.
Spencer.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Jerry. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jerry.
See you here.
Thank
Jerry.
you, Jerry.
Good
Fun.
job.
Great
job,
call. Thank
Jerry.
you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love
Bye.
you.